Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and we've come to the end of the Operation Monster Force figure reviews, and we're going to end it with this Apophis Legion Rapid Reconnaissance Unit Trooper, and there is the photography of the figure. I still have one head pack to do and one accessory pack to do. So there's still two more things, but this comes to the end of all these figures that I've done. So as we open the door, we can see the comic panel right there, and there we can see the actual figure. Well, maybe you can't see it so well, but imagine it's in there, and we're going to see it open anyway. On the back, we can see the actual figure again, carrying his rifle, and he is a zombie, all right? We get the cross-sell. This is Season 0, so this is before Season 1. You know, that's how numbers work. But basically, this was the uprising, from what I understand, of everything that's to come in the whole Operation Monster Force universe. But I am here to review action figures, not the lore of everything. But we're going to get into this. I'm ready to be done. As much as I enjoy these figures and all the stuff that's come in recently with Hasbro, Four Horsemen, all this Operation Monster Force stuff, I haven't had a chance to play with my figures. Not only that, I had to go on a work trip. Not only that, do I have a 36-hour live stream for Toys for Tots. So if you're available, if you want to donate, October 24th and 25th. All proceeds that the channel makes go to Detroit Toys for Tots. But we're here to look at this. Let's get into it. Before we do, if you stayed this long, what do you mean stay this long? We just started. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop an Operation Monster Force review. Alright, so here we have this Apophis Legion figure, and I gotta say, before we look at it, I really like the I like the dark greens on this and the camouflage. So I hope they make an actual trooper like that. They may be. I have so much stuff on pre-order I can't remember. So quickly, this is all reused. The only thing that we haven't seen yet is the boonie hat. So we'll get into everything else first. All right. So quickly, we have all these hands. So we'll start off with the two fist hands. You have these knuckle dusters or knuckle protectors. These are gloved hands, so there's no fingernails. These are the C grips. All right, and you can see the nice wrinkles in the gloves, so it gives it a little bit of perspective. You got punchy hands. Again, there's your knuckle protectors right up there. Again, you still have some wrinkles. We've seen this in all these other ones, so I'm not going to spend too much time. And then we have some open hands, which I think really work, especially for a zombie if he still has one hand gloved. And then we have these zombie hands with trigger fingers, and this time I got a left and a right one. As you can see, there's some blood. You know, some blood just kind of opened up. You can see it's decaying. Same with this one. Just giving you a little bit of a look to it. You get these gray fingernails. So he's decaying, I guess, a little bit differently. I don't think the other ones have. The other ones are actually a different color. Like, they're not as gray. And yeah, they have different color fingernails. So there is a slight difference in some of them, I guess. And then we have they're the same hands though. And here you can see the gray. You can see his fingers literally being ripped off. The skin has been ripped off. Same with on this one here. I think they did a really good job. And I mentioned this before. The red has a very nice sheen to it. All right. So looks pretty good there. All right. We get the blast effects. We get the large blast effect. We get a nice plume coming out. There you have your bullet. It's all in an orange translucent. So it does look nice. We'll take the rifle really quick. You do have to kind of spin some of these in here, because for some odd reason, these gridiron guns, the ones that they designed, for some odd reason, the port on a lot of them seems too small, and this is one of them. Or if I take this gun here, I guess this one does the same thing too. But sometimes you have to twist them into it, It makes them fit a little bit better. So it seems like I've had a few hit and miss. Some of them slide in really well, some don't. Some of the gridiron weapons, these were too loose, or maybe these were too small, who knows. But either way, they do work. They look nice when you get them in there. So there's a nice big plume. We have the smaller one. The explosion's a little bit different. Same angle, you know, of your little triangle there. And then we have what I believe is for the pistols here, a bigger explosion, or more of an explosion there, and a longer tip. Again, all translucent orange. Then we get the smoke effect, which I do love these. These work really well for just finishing a firefight if you're taking pictures. Here we have the knife in the sheath. All right, so looking at the knife first, it is pokey, so do not give it to a kid. All right, now these are also ages 17 and up, all right? But nothing's blunt there. This is not sharp where it's going to cut you, but this will literally drive right into your skin. You can see the design on it, a nice silver blade. Then you've got the nice brown grip right there. Here is your sheath for it. This has a little bit of weathering on it. You can see the button right there. And the one thing about these is they're very tight, okay? So that is where it goes. It fits all the way in. Just be careful when you pull this out. Make sure you pull it out straight, because if you have it on the back of them, or you have it on any of the pegs in the peg system, or even on the, if you have an older leg, let's say you plug it in back here. When you pull it off, remove the knife and then pull this off. I pried one off, just snap the knife off. Now that was to Series 1, so you know, over a year ago or so. All right, we're gonna get an extra magazine, which does not go to his weapon. It goes to some of their older weapons. You can see the bullet detailed right there, a couple nice little lines. And the reason for this is, well, there's no reason for it. The reason for this is guys like this has a spot for 2 different magazines. All right, so it has a spot for 2 different magazines. This one here has a spot for the pistol, and we'll get into that later. But you're giving some extra magazines. They don't go to this weapon. We get the smaller pistol, which you can see some wear on it. You can see the nice grip. You can see the trigger guard and the trigger. You do have a port for blast effects, so I'll grab the smaller one. And it fits all the way in. All right. So if I grab the gridiron gun, let's just throw this in here. So this one here is just off a little bit. They're all sized a little bit differently, and I'm not sure why, but it's just how it is. This is the pistol that's come with every single figure other than the Sleepwalker and Dr. Caligari. You have your safety right there. There's your grip. You can see the nice rivets holding the guard in. You have the trigger guard, your guard. There you have your port for blast effects, which I'm assuming. Here, let's try this middle one right here. And let's see if that fits. And that one is also not going to fit. So if I grab this one here, it fits in perfect. So just minorly, these are off. It might work on, let's say, a G.I. Joe gun, which is a little bit softer. So Hasbro smoke effect works perfectly fine. So just a little bit off is going to throw something that small off. All right, we have this rifle, and we've already seen this in the line, and I do like it. It seems a little big, but there's another manufacturer that did these too, and they seem to be about the same size, so maybe that's the size they're supposed to be. Looking at it, this is supposed to have a foldable stock. It does not. If it's an actual gridiron one that's 3D printed, that will probably fold. All right, you got your nice grip, you got your trigger guard, you have your scope right there. There you have your foregrip, which I absolutely hate. Action figures don't hold these well, so I hate the way they look. You can see the barrel. You get a little bit of a... you know what? Maybe we didn't get this gun. This might have been the one I was thinking of. I don't know. There's been so many things, it's hard to tell. But you get your air pockets right there, your air holes. There's your iron sight. And then yeah, because we have the stick magazine. I remember the stick magazine. And there's a bullet right there. Now it's not painted. And I think it's just going to install right there. Now these do seem to be a little loose. If they're not slid up all the way, they can easily fall out, so just be careful. But when you look at this, you have your safety, you have your trigger, that you can switch from automatic, 3-round burst, or single shot, I believe. All right, here is our stand. Stands are useless. Remember that with a figure like this, all these are standing on their own, and this is a really crappy table. So actually, it's a good table. It just moves a lot. All right, Operation Monster Force. I like the fact that this is a gravestone. You can see that it's beat up. I will reiterate, I think for each season they should give us a different style of gravestone so I can create a graveyard and not just have the exact same ones. All right, 2 pegs in every one there. And here it tells you that it is the Apophis Legion Rapid Reconnaissance Unit. Hey, they left off a word. They left off trooper because there's so many words. Guys, you have to shorten the names. Makes it a lot easier. I mean, your name's already Operation Monster Force. Then you're going to go with Apophis Legion Rapid Reconnaissance Unit Trooper Review. That is how sometimes the name in the review looks. All right. So we get these 2 elbow pads. We've seen this from Season 1. They're the exact same. And they do match the knee pads. All right. So this is the cover. If you've been a skateboarder, you'll know what this is. This is the plastic cover that goes over around here is the padding. They do a good job of showing you like the little rivets there, but it's also on green, so black on green. And then you can see how they're supposed to connect. These are usually some sort of spandex. So when you lock them in, they're able to move back and forth. I doubt I'll ever use those. Then we get to the helmet. And we've seen this a few times. I am not going to be trying to add these on. You have to heat these up if you want to get the earpieces in. All right? You can go back and watch it. This is eventually what it's going to look like. Obviously a different color. All right? So, looking here, I like this colored camo. I really do. Dark green. You got your browns and your black there. All right? And you can see the different texture in it. Right up here is where the nods are going to go. You got a little pouch back here. A little pouch up here. I don't know what that actually is. That's not a pouch. That's a pouch there. I'm not sure what that is. And then you also do have your straps. Now these really get in the way. I wish these kind of just hung down a little bit more. Now this is a very pliable helmet. And G.I. Joe does their helmets like this. And I think they work pretty well. You're able to put them on different sizes of heads and they'll form. Valiverse is a hard-shelled helmet and they suck. The earpieces are all separate, and if the head isn't sculpted perfectly for it, they don't look right. And maybe someone would say, hey, that's how they are in real life, but I'm trying to play with a toy, so I want it to look the best that is possible. All right. You also get 2 earpieces. All right. Now these ones look to be all painted in black. You can see the padding right there. And then you can kind of see how it's supposed to look. I'm not going to be trying to put those in. As a matter of fact, those ones are very difficult. Then we get the mask, which kind of has like a ventilation system right there. You get a light right there, and the same ear piecing. Now this is very soft and pliable. You can go back and watch one of the other videos that I've done. I'll actually post. Actually, it will be at the end of this. That's the video. I do it there too, and I also do it in the accessory kit. All right. The problem with this is soft shelled. Okay, very soft, and this is the same texture. So when you're trying to plug something into there, you just have two soft pieces pushing in, meshing together. So you have to heat this up and then kind of wedge your way to get this in here. Now when you have the mask on, it actually looks pretty good. It's decent. This should be a hard piece of plastic along with the earpieces. So when we look at the nods here, all right, you can see the nods, they look really nice. That's how they're going to flip down. The nods here are hard plastic. So when I take this here and I plug the nods into it, all right, they fit in nicely. All right, they can go up, and then I can go down, right? So the nods are really nice because it's a harder plastic. They should have made the same plastic out of this and this, rather than use this rubber. All right. Here we have a blank piece that goes right there. Again, this one's also blank. The other one's a Phantom Core. This one is just all black. I feel like, I don't know, maybe something wasn't missed. I have another one that they gave me 2 of the exact same ones. Then we get the boonie hat. I think it's called the boonie hat. Alright, this looks nice. I love the camouflage. You can see the detail around it. Now this is designed by Gridiron, if I am correct, because I have a couple of these that were sent to me. Alright, now you can see the stitching that wraps right around it. All the camo. You can see where the little air holes just to breathe. And then we have one zombie head. Again, same zombie head as this one is. Alright, just painted differently. Now this guy has dark hair. Again, his hair is perfect. That's one of the things you may want to fix it. Make the hair a little bit, just maybe not make him as perfectly done. Especially with this rip right here. So you can see his brain exposed there. You can see the different cuts. And again, the red is meant to make it look like it pops. This guy has green eyes. You can see the teeth. Blood's all flowing through him. Nose is ripped off. Ear is ripped off. But if you want to throw this hat on here, there you go. Alright. So the hat fits on pretty good. And I'll be using that somewhere. Maybe not on this figure. Actually, I know it won't be on this figure because these are Deadites. Alright. As for the figure, this is the same thing that we have already seen. So we're going to take a look at it here. Again, perfect hair with the big gouge right here. I think like his hair probably would have been messed up by now. Camouflage. Now this would have been nice had they made the camo starting to wear off. Because let's be honest, he's walking around with it for a while. It's not going to be on there forever. But you have all this blood. You can see where he's kind of been bitten out on his cheek right there. Same with over on this side. Alright. Again, eyes are looking good. And not that it would matter on this because he's pretty much defeated. Here we have the shoulders. And we have a rip here. He's torn out here. Now it's the exact opposite. They use the same shoulder. They just swap it. But you're never going to be able to tell. And I actually like that idea. Probably saves them a bunch of money by just designing one rather than 2 different ones. Because I had to design like just one bicep, right? So you have one bicep. You see this all ripped out. And as we go down, no issue here. A lot of reuse, all right? On this one, the forearm is bitten into. You can see a lot of detail right there. And then you get down to the trigger fingers. As for his plate carrier, they give him the microphone. Why do you keep saying microphone? The CB, the radio. Call it the radio. And then I'm not sure what this is over here. But these pop off. So we can change them out if we want to. And here's the plate that if we wanted to... Where'd it go? We could use this one. Maybe you want to write his name on it. Maybe you have superb handwriting and you can write that on there. We get down here. This is your tourniquet. You got the scissors. I know they're not called scissors, but I know what they're called. Magazines for the pistol. Another pistol is going to sit up right in here. All right. So the pistol fits right in there. I like the detail. You can see the wear on it. And then you can see how that's kind of tied down right there. As we get down, we got some shotgun shells. We get the belt buckle, 3 carabiners, a bunch of pouches wrapped all the way around. Down his legs, once again, all the zombies are the exact same. Big chunk out of this thigh. Alright, you can have the same knee pads. Over here, we have their new style holster, which I like. It no longer plugs in, which was a great design, poorly executed though. That's why we're still getting stuff like this. It was all meant to be modular. You'd be able to pop this off, pop in a new one. It just didn't stay on very well. The knee pads, same as the elbow pads, and then you get down here. You're not going to have any ankle rocker here. I'm sorry, not going to have any boot cut here. You have an ankle rocker. No boot cut because there's no way to really do it here. All right, and you can see the rip out of his leg. Over here, we have the boots. You can see the shoelaces. You can see it's ripped all in here. So again, this all looks really good. Now, if you don't know, you haven't been paying attention, and this is the first review that you're seeing, these do come off. I'm not going to take them off, but I'm going to explain to you how to get them back on if you take it off. So this can come off because what you can get is other versions of this. All right. So you can see that this here is different. All right. Up here, so the plate carrier is the exact same. This is different. You can change out this piece, change out that. You can also put a knife, a gun in the back if you want. So if you were to take this out, there's two mushrooms right there, and you also have a mushroom to take this whole thing off. If you take this off, you get left with this mushroom. That's probably the best way to put these on. So what you're going to do is you're going to heat up the whole vest. Once you popped it off, you're going to heat up the whole vest. You're not going to heat this up. All right? This will pull off really easy, so you don't have to worry about heating up to pull it off. But you heat up this whole vest. You leave this cool, or room temperature. Hot water, not boiling water. Then you're going to plug each of these in here. You want the vest to be hotter, so when you plug these in, the mushrooms are a little bit stiffer. That's what she said. And they'll plug in there. You might have to work your way around. Then you have to let the vest cool down again. To get this here, the best thing to do is mushrooms over on this side. You're going to heat up the back of this, which means you're probably going to have to hold it. You don't want to heat this side up. And then once you put them back on, you're going to pop it in here and probably take some tweezers, reach up underneath there and pop the mushroom in the hole back in. It'll be a lot easier. You don't have to go flipping out on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, losing your mind because you didn't do any research on how to get this back into place. It's actually very simple, and you really shouldn't need a video to do it, but sometimes you do. All right. As for loading this guy up, we see how the pistol goes. We got the pistol right here. Now again, this all depends on how you want to do it, right? This all depends on how you want to do stuff. And if you want your zombies to be just regular deadites, like in The Walking Dead, it doesn't really matter. If your zombies think, then, hey, they've been attacked, but they can still think. They're just slowly dying, but let's say they can still operate, all right? So you let them operate. They can carry their weapons. I don't think of zombies like that, but that's just my headcanon. So what's good is, let's say these are just like regular deadites. What you can do is just pop this off. You can slide this down. You have all this extra helmet and everything, the boonie cap, boonie hat, whatever. And you can use it on your G.I. Joes. You can even use it on Valivers. I don't think they might go up in flames. I don't know. But either way, you can have a zombie, and then you just take all the plates, take off all the stuff, and use it on a different figure. All right. As for the articulation, his head will go up that far, and it will also go down. There's your elbow, their elbows, your T-pose. They turn at the bicep and at the shoulder. Pinless double elbows. You're gonna have your wrists that swivel. They also pop out really easy. All right. So you can swap it like this. He does have the diaphragm cut. I don't really care for. I've said it numerous times. I like the ab crunch better. So he can go down about that far. Now the vest is going to be in his way no matter what. But once you take it off, you still have the same issue. He can turn side to side. He can even kind of lean a little bit. Here's Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is going to get in the way, but they have dropped down hips. Pop them back up into place like that. There's your thigh swivel. Double pinless knees. Now remember, this one is not going to have a boot cut because of this detail. But he still has an ankle rocker. This one here, double pinless knees. The boot cut is right there, which allows him to which allows the figures, I don't care what anyone says, to pose better. There are some figures that don't have the boot cut, and people say, "Oh, it's not any harder to you know, to pose them." That's not true at all. I'm not saying you can't, but it is harder. All right. So what you have here, with this little hat on him. I'm not sure if it gives you the front and the back. It almost looks like it's the exact same. I think this is supposed to be the front. So there you go. That is your third Apophis Legion zombie. I need more actual military figures. That's what I need. We only have one in this wave. It is this Phantom Core guy. Oh, perfect shot. Anyway, let's wrap it up. All right, so there you go. That's your Operation Monster Force, Apophis Legion, Rapid Reconnaissance, Core Trooper review. That's too long. Anyway, I love this green, and I hope they make another figure. And they may, in all honesty. Like I said, I've ordered everything that has to do with Operation Monster Force and a few other lines. And I've lost count of everything that I've ordered, to be 100% honest with you. But I think it looks good. If you love zombies, I think you're really going to like these figures. The blue one is Cobra to a T. And when I say that, I mean Cobra to a T. Even the way the mask is. So anyway, there you go. If you want them, go pick them up. They'll be happy, and I think you'll be happy too. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You spent a lot of time with me. I appreciate it. And again, if you're wondering why didn't you put the hat on, why didn't you arm, go watch another one of the videos. And it'll be right here at the end too. You'll see me go through it. It's just a lot of struggle. Same with the necks. I talked about the necks and some of the other ones. So I'm getting out of here. Please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop an Operation Monster Force review. Now don't go anywhere. I told you right up there I will leave the other Apophis Legion that actually addresses the helmet, and down here will be a playlist of all the Operation Monster Force figures that I've reviewed, which is probably around 25 now. Take care.